Who is the most romantic person in our league?
Well, since he's beatboxing over there, why don't you go with yours, Chris?
All right.
Oh, baby.
I picked, hold on, Ryan.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, welcome to the Frenemies Podcast, episode 4. We kind of call this the Hurricane Florence episode here as we go into week 1 recap. To start us off, we got some goofy little rankings and things we want to do. And the first question is, who in our league could you see playing in the NFL? Ryan, who is your pick?
I got Phil.
Phil in the NFL.
I think he's got the size. I think I hit the table really hard there.
He sure did, man.
I was enthusiastic about
you
Phil.
really believed in
I
Phil.
believe in Phil. I think that
First, though, we got to show the video audience
yes.
here.
We are
Elephant in the
legit
room. Look
almost.
at how serious we've gotten here.
Yes.
We now have these cool little arms.
Like, hello. Moving back and forth.
But sorry to interrupt you there, Ryan. Go
it's
ahead.
okay.
All right, so why Phil?
Your
in the
fiery pick
NFL?
for Phil.
I'm fired up about Phil. I think Phil could be a blocking tight end.
Nice.
I'm sure he'll be very happy to hear that.
And Sean, who'd you pick?
I had Joe. This is just off of personal experience. I did a little quarterbacking with him as a wide receiver, and he could do some work.
He's
Yeah.
got it, gentlemen. He's got
Yeah.
it.
He's got hands. He
And
knows how
gentle
to
women.
box out and just put those big mitts up there.
Yeah, when I played flag football with him, he was my number 1 target.
Yeah.
And we had no legit athlete fast speed guys on our fantasy teams or our flag football teams,
Yeah.
but we were always in the title game just because you just throw it up to Joe, and then
Tell me
we were
about
good
Joe.
about that.
Has he faced a good cornerback and still
was
gotten
just-
around his booty?
Yeah, well, no, he's just big. They might pull his flag, but it was easy to throw. It's kind of like throwing to Gronk in double, triple coverage. That's exactly what Joe's like Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Joe
Ryan
is-
underestimated you a little bit, so maybe someday
little,
we'll have to get him
tad
on the
bit.
field.
I have not seen Joe shirtless yet.
That's it. That's the
Apparently,
difference.
maybe these guys have, and I'm missing something.
Numerous times.
Numerous times.
I think I saved that on my phone.
Okay. Rrr.
And I chose Morgan, almost the same reason Joe. He's tall, big
Yeah.
body, but you know what? I'll throw a wild card in there. I think Reverend David with his rocket arm. You can put him in for a play or two in preseason.
It's true.
There you go. You might have to get carted off the field.
Oh yeah, who gets carted off the field?
Oh, definitely me. I think.
I think us three represent the smallest guys in our league.
Yeah.
I know that-
Andy's pretty small too.
I'm gonna go after it with all I got, but I think give me 2 plays and I get carted off the field. I tackle somebody and get carted.
I
off
want
the
to be
field.
QB3, not even dressed out with a clipboard and the headset, but get paid.
Do you still get carted off the field?
I would still. I'd be
Oh,
I'll
good
be throwing
possibility.
warm ups. Yeah, just
Dang.
ask David. It happens all the time. All right, so let's go a little bit more serious here, guys. Who is the most romantic person in our league?
Well, since he's beatboxing over there, why don't you go with yours,
All right,
Chris?
Oh baby.
I picked. Hold on, Ryan.
Oh my gosh! I mean, yes, of course.
I just feel like he is the complete opposite when he gets around the ladies. We see this goofball over here, as you can tell, and he just goes nuts and inappropriate at times. But I feel like he gets it all buttoned up and proper around the ladies. And I haven't witnessed this. I just had this gut feeling that he turns into ladies' man. Now he's still single, but I feel like he still goes for that.
Shots fired.
Yes. Sean, who'd you get?
So I got you, Chris.
I think that's a poor choice.
Well, I mean, you've been married the longest, so you got to be doing something right.
Yeah, I think so.
Keep
A little
that
bit here.
fire burning.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have
Gotta
some
go.
romance going
You're a
on.
nice
Stoke
dude,
that fire.
Chris. Like you're a really
There-
nice dude. So
You know, nice
I mean,
guys
if
finish
I was
last
a
at
girl,
times.
I would be like,
You know,
all about Chris.
I would,
You know
I
what
would,
I'm saying?
I would take you on a date.
I mean, that
There you go.
looking at you, Chris, there had to be romance
There
involved
had
to
to be.
get
I
your
had,
wife.
I had to
I
have
mean.
some game.
Oh
Some
come
game.
on,
Some
Chris,
game.
you're a very good-looking man. Don't listen to this guy. Very good-looking man.
All right. And
Exceptionally good-looking man.
Ryan, who'd you pick as most
Really
romantic?
good. Okay. I have a few guys. I think that there's a lot of romanticism in our league. Okay, and this is proved by the fact that I think everyone's married except for Phil and myself.
Well, Phil gets
Phil's
married
about
next
to be
weekend.
married, so
So maybe I'm the least romantic.
No, you're the most. We're just. I'm
You know who's
giving
not
you the
married?
encouragement.
Morgan, and he was not a
Morgan
thought for
is-
this.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's true.
Morgan.
Okay, so I got the Norfolk Christian guys.
Okay.
I got you and David. I think you guys are very like feely romantic. I think Sean is more like planned romantic. Like he'll blow your
Fair
mind
enough.
with like a nice cruise and like a planned trip here and there. I think that he's very planned. I think that as far as the poetry and the like spontaneity, I think that you and David.
You should really ask our wives after this episode. But now you
Yeah.
just set me up that I have to legit follow through with this. I mean, I'm almost been married for 8 years, so I'm gonna have to keep this rolling.
Yeah.
But all right, so let's jump off our romantic train here and let's get back into some football. Okay, great hook in the beginning. Overall thoughts on week 1, Sean. What were your thoughts going in or leaving this week of fantasy?
So my thoughts were that wide receivers in this PPR format are going to dominate, which, I mean, I guess that's not a revelation by any means, but I just was really overwhelmed with how the wide receivers were just outscoring running backs. There was so many just crazy big wide receiver performances. Like I had a chance to win my game on Monday night,
Yeah.
and I was trying to decide between Marshawn Lynch and Marvin Jones. I made the wrong decision, and it didn't matter either way, but I went with the wide receiver because I just went through and looked, and there's just wide receiver after wide receiver was making the big games, not the running backs.
Yeah, and the volume that Stafford was throwing that ball, you thought he would connect
Yep.
more with Marvin Jones. So it was kind of an anomaly. Usually, with that much that stuff, they usually start connecting on things. For me, my overall thoughts, man, it's like I'm calling out Phil and Tim and all you Steeler fans. What is up with the Steelers? Now, was it the weather? It was it was kind of stormy, wet, ugly feel. But I'm just wondering, without Bell, right? How's everything going to go there? Juju Smith-Schuster and Antonio Brown. It's going to be too much mouths to feed there. But the biggest thing is, can Roethlisberger get the ball to those guys? The running game worked out well. I think Connor is going to be pretty good. But moving forward, even from a fan perspective, worrying about wins or losses for the Steelers. But what can we trust outside of it? Probably Antonio Brown on that fantasy team as teams adjust without a Bell there, and Schuster is taking a further step forward. So that was my biggest overall thought. I was really scratching my head at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ryan?
I think the weirdest thing is that a lot of these the quarterback shuffle seems to be working out in most people's favor. Like
Yeah.
we have
Yeah, all the teams that had their quarterback switch around, it seems like they played just fine.
we're okay.
Yeah,
We can like
Keenum,
take a deep
Cousins,
breath.
Yeah, they all played well.
Yeah.
Mahomes,
Mahomes. Wow.
Alex
the
Smith,
rookies,
I mean, they did
the
fine.
rookies too.
Alex Smith did really good.
I
not
mean-
Sam Bradford. Sorry, Morgan.
And then we have the Bills situation. That's a little scary, but like
Yeah.
I think overall we can take a deep breath and figure of speech, insert figure of speech there. I don't know what to say. I think
Do you
we're
have any
okay.
other overall thoughts there, Ryan? I think you wanted to use this time to.
Phil, Chris, you seem the most experienced with this stuff. What figure of speech would you use there? So like, I think that we can take a deep breath. Everything's gonna be a-okay.
I take a RELAX, little Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Relax.
Okay.
There's
cool.
a lot of things where you can go overreact out of week 1, but just relax with your lineups
All
going
right.
up.
I'll take it.
So, what team surprised us the most in week 1 in our league? The teams in our league here. Sean, what was your most surprised team?
So yeah, Turtles, Mr. Daniel. He surprised me. I was a little afraid of his running backs there. I think Alex Collins could still be an issue, but Joe Mixon, that's going to work out for him. So he was really my surprise team that I think Daniel has got a legit chance to be that cute roster that Chris talked about last week.
Yeah, too cute. Well, I picked Denver Muffin Hunters. I mean, we get them ceremoniously ranked 10 kind of thing because you auto draft here and there during the stuff. But coming in, you had Randall Cobb on the bench and Deshaun Jackson getting 20-plus points. And then Jordan Reed really coming up with 12 points there. And Rob Gronkowski had 19. But, I mean, you did very, very well with Doug Baldwin not getting a single point. And Leonard Fournette only getting 7. So it's almost a really good and bad thing because when you have so much depth, it's like that thing. Like I was talking with Sean earlier, 12:45. You're looking, oh man, who do I start? Who do I start? And you sometimes get overguessed, but I was extremely surprised, really by the depth of the Denver Muffin Hunters. That's such a mouthful to say there. Ryan,
I have you.
oh boy,
You did well, and I had you ranked like almost dead last.
you did, which made me cry.
I was really surprised. Thielen did well, 13.2 points. Golden Tate.
Well, he had like one touchdown.
And then I'm a little concerned about your 3 Vikings still, and I think that I'm still going to end up being right because, like, if they, like, freak out, then what happens? You go down with the ship. Pun intended.
Yes.
I wrote that in my notes.
Pun intended. I see that. And I was like defending my 3 Viking picks. I was like, they were just the value where they're at. And I
Okay.
totally understand. Like, my ship will fall there. But I also was drafting. I was like, who's the best running back at this time? I was like,
Okay.
it's a Viking or the tight end. It's like, it's Rudolph. Knowing that, dadgum, I put 3 guys on one team on my roster here.
So you have a lot of faith in your Vikings.
Yeah, that and like we'll just see how it shakes out. Maybe I got to play the waiver wire there, some parts, just because that could come back and bite me there.
Okay. Well, if anyone can pull your team out of the depths, it's you.
Oh, it's Todd Gurley.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next we want to go over what team in week 1 do you think was an illusion, good or bad? We can go ahead and start with Ryan again here since he's at the mic already.
Yes, I have you. You will bounce back. You will either manage your team to victory or your running backs will pick up steam and be who we all know they can be.
I sure hope so, because Kareem Hunt is making me angry.
He's making them angry.
Oh man.
What about you, Chris?
I put basically our whole league in here. I was looking at the depth of our PPR running
cheating.
backs. It is really cheating, but I was thinking of an illusion here of how good can we carry it out, because a lot of us have a strong PPR running back, and is that depth of the whole season going to help us, or is the reality going to hit and our running backs aren't producing? So some of us who go running back heavy, would that hurt us because like, oh man, look, they're doing everything, but they won't get the catches.
Yeah.
We're going to get 9 points.
Chris,
Instead
that,
of 20 something.
that
You know?
Bitmoji does look exactly like you.
I told you, Bitmoji, the app, you take a selfie. That's what
all,
they come
I was
up.
always
Yeah.
thinking when you were talking. I was like, wow.
Wow, that was out of left field. Yep. Me and Ryan texting late at night. Emojis.
Oh, yes.
All right, but yeah, that was mine. It was a cheat thing, but as I was looking, trying to find a team, one thing that bounced out to me was just the PPR backs that most of our teams have, and like who's going to carry the most. Obviously, I would say Joe is set up better, but
Yeah.
who thought Mixon would jump out like that and be
Yeah.
part of both the running and passing?
I'm
game?
sure Daniel will tell you he
Yeah.
thought that.
Oh, he definitely did. He knew that.
Yeah.
Daniel in Arizona, he got that all down.
Exactly. So yeah, my team that was kind of an illusion, I think, is Morgan. I ranked him kind of higher, and then he did not perform this week at all.
I mean, he had tough, real
Yeah,
tough.
he had a
patch
little
there.
bit of the case of the injuries to Freeman. I don't think that's really what you're going to get out of Freeman. McCoy, that was just a rough Buffalo Bill game. It's about exactly how I thought that game was going to go. But Miller looks like he's going to be solid for him. Chris Hogan's not going to have a game like he did last week. Like, that's just a freak thing that it happened to be Philip Dorsett that week. So I think Morgan has a chance to bounce back, but he's going to have to stay on it, manage his team, because if he just lets it go by the wayside, then this could be more of the same.
Possibly consider trades.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
The day when Morgan trades, we will all celebrate.
He always thinks we're undercutting him. So we're
Yeah, that's what he views it. He said, if you want to trade with me, then this can't be good for me. It's good for you.
that's exactly. So you guys got to be one-sided.
So here's the answer, Morgan. You trade.
There you go. You offer.
You
You offer
propose
the
the
trades.
trade.
It could probably help you out, get out of the hole here early for you. All right, so let's move on to game of the week. What was our week 1 game of the week, Ryan?
And I think the general consensus here was Andy against David.
Yes.
And wow. Okay, so first of all, Andy, as we well know, he auto drafted.
What?
He
Nobody
used NFL's advanced metrics by nature of not attending the draft, and we could get really upset at Andy here. as grown adults in the fantasy world, we can really get angry, or we can look at this as an opportunity to right a wrong that was done in our first season when the guy who auto-drafted won and humiliated all of us.
Yeah.
So David gave him a fight. I forget what the points were, but I believe that was the
Yeah,
top.
139 to 130.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Phil was the only one higher than the two.
Yeah, and it could have gone either way. I mean, I said earlier about Baldwin getting 0 points, but you can look at David not starting Ajayi,
Yep.
and he put Aguilar over there.
No,
and
don't remind David of that. I'm
Ajayi's
sure
had
it's going over
20
his head.
points, but there's 2 receivers scoring 20 plus for Andy that he could have plugged in off the injured Doug, and then it was still
Yes.
been really close.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite game as well.
It's like there's hope,
Yep.
Because I know NFL probably uses some crazy mathematics statistics to do the auto draft. Seriously, there's probably some
I
equations
think it's
in there.
all a luck thing, which is crazy.
Yeah.
but-
So when they pre-rank guys and projections,
I don't
and
know
go
though,
that
because
way.
those DraftKings guys, the guys are really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
They have equations that are just crazy.
yeah.
So I think if the challenge this year is any of us beats Andy.
with the formula
Yes,
the
yes.
conspiracy
That's what
formula
we're-
Yeah.
that the NFL draft, NFL.com draft.
conspiracy.
All right, so this next segment I really, really like here. So we're going to talk about guys in our leagues, our teams, and what their NFL team equivalents would be.
Got to give the credit to David here for this wonderful
Yes.
segment idea.
So I'll start off here with, let's just start number 1. We always go 10 up. So number 1 here, we're looking at Phil. We kind of went with our rankings here, so just random. We put the Patriots, now because you think of someone that, historically have done things where you scratch your head, which wasn't against the rules, but frowned upon. But
Kind of reminds us of
yeah,
Phil.
I've also thought that he reminded me of the early 90s of the Buffalo Bills. 4 Super Bowls in a row, but never won the title. Same thing, second place all the time. I mean, if anyone remembers the 90s, I believe the Bills team was a lot more they were, I think, a better team than the Cowboys, but they just could never finish it. That's why they have 0, and the Cowboys had 3, going into the 90s.
I said, but I wasn't even watching football then.
This is very true.
Yeah.
We were not allowed.
I was
Well,
very
I
little
guess you were
kid,
alive, but
I go back
in
history.
diapers.
Yeah. All right.
And then for me, the Chargers, which David suggested as well, it's a perfect fit. They're always on the edge of that playoff spot.
Yeah.
Just can't seem to get in. Start off slow at the beginning of the year, pick up a head of steam, but
Right.
just miss the playoffs. And
Yeah.
that's just been my life in our fantasy league. So Chargers fans, I'm with you. Oh, and they lose all those close games.
They do. Like the field goal kicker never wants to make it.
Yeah,
and,
the parallels
Right
continue.
at the end of the game. Like, I'm going to miss this one today. So with David, I put the Bengals. I'm just going to put there. Being a Ravens fan, I was like,
Sure,
this
he
is
loves-
That's the
perfect,
truest one.
right?
There
like
is.
David is the Bengals. He is Andy Dalton.
So he makes it into the playoffs and
Yeah.
then just can't get to the Super Bowl.
always just one win above 500, a winning team, or if they were really good, they just poop their pants when it comes playoff time. Not saying David poops his pants, but being a father of 2, you probably change a lot of dirty diapers. So you have probably more experience in pooping in the pants.
Ooh.
But
Some fighting words.
And then for Chris here, I thought the Ravens were a perfect
Mm.
comparison. Was it their first year or was it their
well,
second?
it was like shortly after.
It was
they
very
got in
shortly
there. Yeah.
after they entered the NFL, and then they win the Super Bowl, and everybody's like, "How do you do this? You just got a team,
Yeah.
and now you win the Super Bowl." And that's what
I,
Chris
for
did to us.
one, was hurt.
It was all about that draft. They drafted what?
They had
Ray Lewis and-
Jonathan Ogden.
Yeah, just
They just put some cornerstones on their team, and then I put down a little note about the second Super Bowl that the Ravens won because when we were ranking it, we both were typing in the Ravens. It was
Yeah.
hilarious because I'm like the second one where they beat the Niners. No one thought they were gonna like Flacco was just amazing out of nowhere. So it's like it took everyone by surprise, just like beating Phil last year was by surprise. All right, what was that? Who was Daniel there? Ryan.
Daniel's the New York Giants.
Football Giants, New York Football Giants.
Beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl and went right back to the bottom of the league. That sounds like your writing. Sean.
yeah, that's kind of what happened to Daniel there. He's the New York Giants. He beat the Patriots, Phil, when we all were rooting for him.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
And then he had a not so great year after that.
Who
So,
doesn't root for a team called the Tidewater Turtles?
Turtle. I know.
I didn't think you could win with that name, but he proved us
I
wrong.
love your sound bit. Turtle. He does that every time.
It's just I don't know, just too easy. For Joe, I gave you your hometown team, buddy. I know you're a big Panthers fan, and looking at your squad being running back
Yep.
heavy, ground and pound all the way. Easily the Panthers for me when I was looking at what your strength of team is
That's good.
throughout, and you're going to have those keepers for the next couple of years. Who do we have for Tim, Sean?
And then for Tim, I had the Rams. So you can take this as a win, Tim, if you can do so. I think that you picked up a team, that Jeff Fisher kind of ruined, and
Leroy's.
you have a
Leroy's
chance
Jeff
to-
Fisher.
hopefully he's not listening to this because that's not a kind reference.
No.
But you have the chance to be the Sean McVay, the savior, and turn this thing around. So
Sean McVay's a good-looking man.
let's see if
He's a good-looking man.
Tim James is a fantastic looking.
I think he's better looking
Yes.
man than him.
Better-looking man.
His wife agrees. All
His
right.
wife agrees.
Morgan, I put this one, man. Jets, Jets. I think Morgan of the Jets. I'm not quite sure why. I just had to do that.
The Jets, yeah.
He's
He's got that kind of Mark Sanchez thing going on, right?
Yeah, a little bit. And, they rather party in New York. And I know Morgan's down there partying all the time. I don't know if you are or not. But you're always like a few players away, like going in. Like if you just a tweak here or there, you could have been a playoff team.
Yeah.
When we revisit, and every Jets fan, that's how they talk all the time. If we did this, we're a quarterback away. Things of that nature. That's how I think of Morgan that way.
Well, just take solace in this, Morgan. The Jets just creamed Detroit last
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
So there's hope for you.
There's hope. All right, Ryan. Who do we have for Ryan there, Sean?
So he's the Steelers. I kind of want Ryan to talk about this himself because
Please.
how are you the Steelers? Because he hates the Steelers, but
Look out for my trades, boys.
he's going to do you dirty.
Look out for my trades. I don't know what happens. I think I put like a self-destruct
I
in
know,
my
man.
players. I trade them away.
I'm still mad about that one trade.
Yeah, that Martavis Bryant trade's not working out too great for the Raiders. huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hence
then
the Steelers. I think in a second, though, we're going to get to a better comparison. I think that will deflate my head a little from David.
Oh, did David pick?
Yeah.
He roasted me a
All
little.
right, what's the last one there, Chris?
Andy, we got you as the Cowboys, man. Always thinking you're better than you are, but sometimes you are that good. It depends, like
Earrings and the
yeah.
bling and the swagger.
It's like
and-
you should be, but then we just haven't seen it yet, and maybe this might be the time. But if you guys watch the NFL, as we all do, but the Cowboys are like always big talk. They have everything, and then just something doesn't go right that adds up. When you look at the rosters, you're like, maybe they should have been better, but they just weren't. Or
Yeah.
why did they make that move? So, Andy, that's what we thought about for you.
They're kind of diva-ish.
Yeah, well, because
Yeah.
he
Andy
comes
or
out.
Diva.
He was the only one confident in his team, and
Yeah,
He was right.
Yeah, it's like everyone, we were scratching our heads, and Andy's over there strutting like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Are you serious?" And then I'm like, oh,
two
okay.
defenses.
Two kickers? What? No, I don't think they did that. All right, so you said you had some from David. Let's hear what
Yeah,
it is.
let's
And then
hear what
I haven't
David-
seen these, so this will
Yeah.
be kind of funny.
These are-
the first one.
These are well thought out.
David's. Maybe we should have just had David on for this
Yeah.
segment, right?
Yes.
Chris, you're the Giants, according to David.
Oh,
Won two Super Bowls, beat Phil, the Patriots.
Oh,
But his team shouldn't have
Wow, that's
really
actually
won
weird.
either, as he wasn't the best team either time.
it's true.
that is like
That's probably
that is
a
better
better fit for
way
you.
better for me. That is awesome.
Because that's what it was. Phil was in this dominant tear, and
Yeah.
no one thought that the Patriots were going to lose that game. And then Chris, the Giants,
I am
showed
Eli
up.
Manning. Okay, who else do we have?
David says he himself is the Bengals.
Oh,
so we
he
were
agreed
right.
with
Usually
us.
makes the playoffs, never wins the big one, and has a team full of convicts.
The moral
Yep.
part
I like
for
it, I like
Red-Handed.
it.
He says, "Yep, I'm the Bengals," and I said, "And they literally are the Bengals," referring to the convicts. To which David said, "Ha ha." And he said, "I'm the Ravens." This is the roast. He said, "I'm the Ravens. Won the Super Bowl about 5 years ago, but have struggled to make the playoffs since."
Sting.
I'm gonna beat you this year, David.
Oh man, that's a good one there.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any upsets coming up this coming week 2? Do we see a matchup that we honestly can say it's an upset, not just like who we want to pick out there? Sean, who do you got?
So I got Daniel as a possibility to upset Andy.
Can it really happen?
Ryan hopes so, right? So that we
Right.
can put
Yeah.
Andy in his place. But no, I think, like I said, I was really surprised with how good Daniel's team was. If those running backs are going to perform like that, I think he's got a great chance of upsetting Andy.
We
this
better
week.
hope so, guys. Can our pride? We're doing a podcast for Pete's sake. Can our pride take getting beat by an
By an
autodrafter?
autodraft?
No,
No, it cannot.
it can't.
Could we even look at this camera straight in the face with our pride intact next season?
I don't think so.
How would it affect our podcast?
We might
should
have
have been
to.
a politician.
We
We
might
would
have
just,
to be.
I think our
three different
posture
thoughts.
might be a little more slumped. We might be a little less confident about what we're saying.
Well, I picked Ryan over Phil. It's go big or go home.
I like it.
With Phil's high scoring team, I'm like, Ryan, you can do it. And matchup wise, from players of what teams they're playing, it could happen.
Okay.
It could.
I like that.
All right. And then Ryan, who'd you pick?
Sorry, Sean. I think if Morgan's squad gets it together, he's set to go. I think that you might have some managing to do, like some judgment calls that are going to be really scary in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
So-
disagree with you. That was my illusion that
Yeah.
Morgan's team is not that bad. So
Yeah.
I could see myself
You're going to
dropping
have
2
to
games.
nail
here.
those judgment calls.
I need Kareem Hunt to start
Yeah.
doing something. Please.
The offense does everything, but where was Kareem this past week? Well, all right. That's what we have here for episode 4 of the Frenemies podcast. Sean, what do they have to look forward to for episode 5?
So episode 5, we'll actually get into waiver wire this time. We had to record early because of the hurricane, so we're not going to be able to go over any waiver wire
Oh, yeah.
recaps.
If there's no episode next week, you know what happened
because
to
we
us.
all died.
We
Yeah.
got swept away.
Because we're those stubborn people that are like, you ain't going to take me out of my home. I lived here my entire life, and that government ain't going to tell me what to do.
Yep, that's what Ryan's going to be doing.
Yeah.
So we'll do waiver wire next week. So we'll talk about all the money that Morgan spent.
Yes.
and
Probably
then
$395
probably something pretty
$400.
similar to what you heard this week, where we'll go over kind of who our game of the week was and such.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any suggestions for like segments like David did, that's awesome. Hit us up, give us something like that, because I think that was the best part of this episode.
All right.
Or criticisms.
Send us off there, Ryan.
Like, subscribe, thumbs up. And in conclusion, have a good week. We'll see you next time.
Nobody died from that hurricane.
Stay safe.
Don't do what we're doing. Evacuate. Get out of here.